Sure. Okay. So we had covered till 14 sutras. Sutra 14. Drishyanushravika Vishaya Vitrishnash Vashikara Sangya Vairagyam. This is beginning of Vairagya or non-attachment or is passion. And there are two important aspects which any human being experiences, that is drishya, that means rupa or vision, and shabda, the names, the language, the expression of language. These are two main qualities or main properties of our interaction or our perception. But it is not limited to this. The Shyana Shavik is not limited to this. In fact, we should also be able to see other engagements and also not be attached to them. Okay. Trishna means thirst. Trishna means thirst. Vitrishna means non-thirsty state. Non-thirsty state. So, these are the two subjects. Two subjects, that is sound or language, and vision, that is rupa, the form. But it is not limited to, as I was saying, you have to also consider other aspects of your experience, which are then rasa, gandha, sparsh. That means taste, touch, and smell. These are the three aspects. And we are kind of attached to them as well. Now, it is defined that Vishay Vitrishna has to be there. Trishna, as I was saying, is thirst, hunger, desire, craving. You have to become aware of your cravings, become aware of your hunger of particular type of things, type of sensations here. Right? Acha, what is difference between need and thirst or craving? There is difference. You see, there is definitely this difference. Craving continues, right? Only for few moments it is satiated and then again it continues. There is always a deep thirst for something and we always run after that. We are never satiated. We are not satiated for long enough. Occasional fulfillment is not satisfying. It's not yielding, right? It doesn't keep us stable. Our mind runs towards that indriya or that sensational, that organ of sensation. Okay. So we have to develop somehow this state of non-thirstiness, non-craving. Is it possible? No. Generally, you would look at your life and then say, it is not possible. How do I develop? A good scenery is a good scenery. I get attached to it. I feel good when I see good things. Hmm, right? Good food is good food. Delicious food is tasty food is, of course, tasty food. I like it and I don't like the food. The bland taste, I like that. So that way we are attached. That is our natural tendency. Is it not? We are naturally attracted to good taste, good smell, good touch, good scenery, good sound, music, etc., etc. Right? The natural inclination. How do we raise ourselves to that level where we are equally okay with both, good or not so good? It does not mean that you are going to lose your capacity to discriminate between the two. It's only that you'll have to analyze what kind of vrittis it has to create. Please understand the previous sutra was even before that abhyas vairagyabhyam tanirodha, which means you'll have to do practice. What to practice? The practice is about awareness. Why? Because there are two types of vrittis. One is klishta and one is aklishta. After feeding on to certain things, after fulfilling your cravings, what is the quality of vritti and what is the frequency of vritti you have to look at. That is how you have to develop viveka. Hmm? Viveka means discrimination. This discrimination has to become stabilized in your mind. What for I am discriminating? In the sensations and the after effects and overall experience of mind with the world. See, we don't live in indriyas, in these organs of sensation. Our life is lived in our minds, right? Our life is lived in our minds. We don't live in this body. We may feel like that we are living in this body and therefore this body is everything, but no. At the end of it, you feel good, satiated, satisfied, joyous, or or depressed, sad, whatever the condition be. The the very hue of your life, the very quality of your life is determined by not the kind of body you have, but the state of mind and the level at which your mind is reverberating at that point. Correct? Hmm? Many a times you would, if suppose you have some body difficulty, some body challenge, maybe some disease, maybe some illness, some pain. Many times you would look at healthy people. Suppose you have a lot of knee pain, you are unable to climb stairs and all. And maybe you come across people, when you see people that they are running, they are climbing. Hmm, then what happens? For some moment you feel like, is it not that if I would have had that kind of body, that kind of strength, that kind of state of affairs in my body, and I will rather barter for it. Let's say, given that you assume another body which is healthy from another person, right? But will that change your state of life or inner state of mind? That is important for you to look at. When your body will become better, what are those things which you are going to do and how it will affect the quality of your mind? Whether it will further deteriorate and take you away from your own source of joy, inner source of bliss, or sense of peace toward that agitated state or not, right? So sometimes disability in itself becomes a blessing only if you recognize it and make use of it, right? Positives and negatives. When there is this scenario that everywhere you see corrupt people, corrupt exchanges happening, and rude talking happening, then it's a blessed are those who don't have these ears. They can't listen what is being taught. So even disability becomes a blessing. However, that does not mean that we'll have to become disabled. Hmm? We have to work on our discrimination. That any input, any way, our interaction with the world, how it affects our mind, and what kind of vrittis it creates. That is the ultimate awareness. And out of all the sensations, these two sensations need to be worked on the most: vision and sound. And another thing is, when we say that we need to cut down on the consumptions, cut down on the consumption of these two: sound, speech, and vision. Then your mind will become little stabilized. Better, it will be in a better state of consciousness. Acha, I can guarantee that if you watch any channel, news channel, entertainment channel, continuously, let's say, or watch mobile, and look at your inner state. Do you not feel agitated even if this was continuous good melodious songs being played? I can guarantee you, if you continue to listen to music, continue, you will find you are getting agitated now. A kind of anger has seeped in. So even if you're a music lover, so-called classical music lover, it does not mean you can listen to that music 24/7. And if you will do so, it will only create agitated state of mind, which is a vritti of anger, vritti of frustration, and it is not congenial to experience your true nature. Right? And therefore, we should develop the Trishna. We should develop that state of non-thirstiness for it. And that will happen only when we apply our discrimination. That feeding on to even good, feeding on to even the best sensations coming from best of the sources does not lead me to the peace of mind or the state or vritti where I become available to myself, where I am not agitated. In fact, we are blessed that we have this option of deep sleep in our life. That's natural way of the creator or Prakriti, nature, to disconnect our senses from the outer. And that is the way we continue to live this life without becoming insane. Or else you'll become insane. You'll go mad, right? So this share of sleep almost everyone has. Who will become saner than that? Who will become more calm and calmer, more peaceful than the average? Who will? Who will become like that? How a yogi needs to uh, conduct his life so that he is in a better state of mind, lesser agitated state of mind, by cutting down on the feeding of these senses. And look about, around, and stay observant. When I cut to these stimuli, what happens? What happens to my state of mind? And you will observe that the more you cut through, uh, the more you disconnect from these sensations, you will find that you have developed a better, calmer, and more stabilized state of mind. Your state of mind is such that now it is worth contemplation. It has become capable of contemplating on your own existence, your own experience of self. It has become capable of analyzing your own mind, has become capable of analyzing its own state. Look at it. When we are on feeding spree, the feeding of the senses or stimuli, we are not capable of, our mind is not capable of even assessing how it is feeling. What is the quality? So by cutting our interaction, by cutting down those inputs, we will be able to develop little bit more sanity than the others, more control, more peacefulness, right? So how we should develop this vitrishna? ठीक है, enough. I have listened to it. I'm not running after it, right? I'm not hungry for it. Somebody says, I have watched that movie 24 times. It has become mantra for you. Huh? You have to look at the state of your mind then. What is happening to my mind? After watching it once, your mind revolves in that, spins, starts spinning. See, when our vasana becomes rajasic, when our vasana becomes tamasic, we love this inertia. Inertia of two types: inertia of movement and inertia of lethargy, both. Inertia of ignorance, inertia of non-ability to sense your own state of being. Both are inertias. Okay? And we need to be aware of it. The more we engage with this world, we find ourselves lesser and lesser capable of assessing our own state of mind. Yoga primarily works on a state of mind from mood, to ekagra. That is our goal. And once ekagra or concentrated state of mind is achieved, then only you can jump over to niruddha or frozen state of mind, or well controlled, or you can say beyond your thoughts you move, right? So our desire, our trishna is for continuous moving, swirling of mind. We are in love with vrittis. Then what will happen? You will feed onto senses. Okay. If you love the inertia of this movement, but yogi does not need to move from that love for inertia of movement to love of inertia of rest. Let us be clear. What he has to do is keep a balanced state of mind where he's okay with both and can deal with both, but has an inclination towards the rest. Rest means restfulness of mind, right? So your energies should not be consumed. You may have a wrong notion of that. If I look at good scenery, I nourish myself. My eyes get nourishment. If I listen to good music, my ears get nourishment. No, it is not so. When you look, when you watch, when you open your eyes, become aware of the scenery, you are consuming your energy. Watching is effort. You're losing energy. Listening is an effort. That means to understand, make out the words and meanings out of it, you have to put efforts. The effort is seemingly looks like effortless. Why? Because your capacities are strong, right? For you to walk a mile is not an effort because your muscle structures and everything has developed. But for a child, walking a step is an effort. Walking is an effort. Listening is an effort. Seeing is an effort. Even tasting and smelling is an effort. Even sensation, bhoga through sparsha is effort. So what does it mean? We need to reduce our engagement with the world through these five senses. Reduce. I'm not saying stop. And why reduce? Seeing value in it. What is the value? That my mind is calm. My mind is available to me. My mind is imbued with awareness. That much, if you achieve, it is, you have already started working on the foundation of becoming a yogi. Please remember this. Okay? Got it? So, this reduction in bhoga is known as tapa. Reduction in indulgence by way of a choice, by way of your own intent and decision is called tapa. This is one form. Refraining from what we like, what our indriyas are craving for, stopping is tapa, one. And another, endurance, enduring all that which our indriyas don't like is also tapa. So the word is tapa, the one who is capable of, now I am playing with words, the one who is capable of going through tapan, he will be refrained from patan. The one who is capable of enduring, resisting, enduring what is not as pleasurable and desirable, refraining from all that what you love to be with, resisting yourself there. That is tapa. And once we engage in tapa, we develop that quality where patan or the downgradation of consciousness does not happen, rather elevation happens. Don't become indulgent, right? And over the period of time, when you will see that qualitative change happening in your inner state of mind, uh, that state of mind, less agitated, more peaceful, more available, more aware, then you will say that I see value in it. Initially I have forced myself from not watching movie, not going to theater, not going to mall, listening to songs all the time. I refrained initially, but after a week or two or 10 days or 1 month, you'll have to be abhyasa for some time consistently. And after 6 months or so, you find you're a changed person. Your mind is becoming more sharp. It is more filled with enthusiasm. You have become capable of joy, capable of smiling. If you lack in your energy, you are unable to even smile. What is smiling and joy? Laughing. Laughing is burst of energy which you can't contain anymore. So you'll have to expel it saying ha ha ha. And what is a smile? Smile is that sparkle of joy which you experience by, of course, by somehow in this day to day, the way we look at this life, we get ignited. That spark gets ignited when we come across favorable things, favorable people, People we love, people we respect and all that, right or not? Objects we love. And then the smile comes. Hmm? A child smile the moment he sees chocolate. Huh? And you, when do you smile? Huh? What is your chocolate? Find out. So, in the same way, this smile is joy, ripple of joy, sudden ripple of joy, sudden burst of joy is a smile. Now, when you will lack in energy, when you spend all your energy in assimilating these sense inputs, you will not be even able to express. You will not have that much energy to even express that through your gestures. So, this is what we need to work on. Now, this is the beginning of Vairagya. This is just beginning of Vairagya. Patanjali says this is Ghatiya Vairagya. Doyam darje ka, second grade Vairagya. But you have to begin from here, right? You have now started walking on the path. You're just the beginner. You're the toddler. You have just started learning how to walk. Patanjali says this is not enough. Even if you develop complete Vairagya for Drishyanu Vishaya, which means for the Indriyas, it is still not Vairagya. It's the beginning of Vairagya. Right? What is Paravairagya? The next sutra says. Okay. Next sutra says. Let's go to that. It says Tat Param Purusha Khatir Guna Vaitrishnam. That extreme non-attachment or extreme dispassion is giving up even the qualities. Qualities shows the Purusha means shows the real nature of ourselves. Which means now you are not interested in anything. You are not an ordinary person now. You are going to denounce even this Vairagya for another experience. When you will denounce the qualities also, which means going beyond Sat Rajatam. See? Then only you will be able to experience the true nature of your own being, which is called Purusha in Sankhya philosophy. Okay? Sankhya and Yoga are the two atheist philosophies. They don't believe in the God who created this world. We are responsible for our own life, our joys, our suffering, our sorrows, and there is this continuous engagement of Prakriti, movement of Prakriti, nature, which will continue to give us challenges or opportunities, favorable and unfavorable both. Now it is up to us how do we lead our life, right? What we are interested in. That's it. So here, when a yogi wants to experience the ultimate truth, he is not running after any imaginary God sitting in the 7th or 14th abode of his. He is here as I. I am the God. So even yoga reaches there. Yoga will also reach to the state where it will say Aham Brahmasmi. Yes or no? Because your Vedantis are saying Tat Tvamasi or Aham Brahmasmi. Even Tantra is taking us there. Who says Shivoham? Simple. So by that you should understand that how do we reach that state? When we completely denounce even being good. Being bad, you have to learn to mitigate and you have to come to that state where you become good. But don't start taking so much joy and taste and, savor the taste of being good. Okay. That's the biggest trap. Goodness is bigger trap than the badness. Goodness is so enticing, so engaging that you don't want to leave it, right? If you are cruel, you may become better, that you become compassionate, merciful. But if you are merciful, if somebody asks, it's okay to drop this also, man. I say, no, but this is good quality. How can I drop being this? No, sometimes you have to be uh, cruel also. Sometimes you have to apply, you have to punish also. No, forgiveness is good quality. So being obsessed with good, but life is not good or bad. Life is complete balance, mix of both. Is it not? Can you apply this quality of forgiveness in every situation and all the time? Is it possible to live your life like that? Tell me. Does life forgive you? If you jump from the second floor of your building, does life forgive you? Does gravity forgive you? So that means what? There are certain rules, there are certain ways in which suffering is inevitable. And that is the order. So while it may be seen as the disorder is being created, even creation of disorder is an order, right? Yes or no? If you don't understand this statement, I'll explain. Ocean happily waving infinite, if it in its quite infiniteness, not as much infinite. Oceans are of course very big, beyond our comprehension, but sailors still cross them, so they are not infinite. But for us, it is बहुत बड़ा है, too much of water, happily waving and spending their life, stable. But there comes this creation of disorder, sun blazing on it, and the water starts vaporizing. Is it an orderliness for the ocean? No, disorder is being created. Water is not going to be with the ocean anymore. It is going to rise on the sky. So their unorderliness is an order, because unless that happens, the freshness of the rivers will not be maintained, right? So everything hunky dory, everything is stabilized. My life is set. Nothing bothers me anymore. I don't have any challenges. This orderliness is a curse. I can tell you. It is all, of course, detrimental to your progress and growth for sure. That's one. But you would look at that it will lose its own value after some time. Being set, being stabilized does not mean anything. Yes or no? Therefore, life has always two aspects, good and bad, forgiveness and punishment, orderliness, unorderliness, stability and chaos, both. So, who is a yogi? Who is param vairagi, highest dispassion, who is capable of dropping both good and bad. But let me tell you, currently we may feel that we lack in goodness. For sure, we lack in goodness, and for that we must work. We must create a balanced state first. We should become good, right? For let's say there is so much indiscipline, there's so much lethargy, there's so much inactivity, there's so much resistance to change. Overcome that, achieve all those positive qualities, and then after creating this balance, you should be okay with both. But how can you be okay with both when all the time you were striving to become better? That's the challenge. That's the challenge. I think that is why I said goodness is a better trap. Better in the sense of strength. Otherwise, it is worse. Hmm. It's a more powerful trap. Because all the while I wanted to become good, I wanted to inculcate this quality, that quality, and now I have become good. How do I leave it? Come on. Here you have to understand another thing. You don't have to actually leave anything. Rather, put your attention to something else. Okay? That's the way of diverting your energies and awareness in a positive way. Okay? Hmm? Right? There is no direct method of working on anything bad. You have to create something good. Hmm? Okay. Suppose you are naturally an angry person, always in anger. What can you do with this anger? Tell me. What can you do with this anger? How to reduce the anger now? Hmm? Is there any nozzle? Is there any valve? Is there any mechanism that when anger comes, you reduce it? Not possible. You can't work on it. And that is why all anger management techniques fail. Anger cannot be managed. Anger is excessive energy which has gotten a wrong channel to express itself. Anger is rooted in most of the times in our desires, expectations, and our pride and ego. Right? My way or highway is best example of anger. This is how the fixated view of life is an example of anger. So what is anger resides in your principles. It resides in your framework of intelligence. Right? Is it not? So anger has to be dealt with by one thing. And that one thing is create another positive habit. And you will see that you have been able to channelize your energy in better avenues. And that is how your anger will be. And you will start seeing value also. Right? Start seeing value in it. So having achieved it, once you have become both, you're capable of compassion, you are even capable of punishing, that's okay. Now you look the utilitarian view of it, that it, both are needed, but in any case, that is not leading me to true satisfaction or joy. When you start deriving joy in being good, joy in being useful, joy in being disciplined, then you are stuck up at sattva or rajasa. You may not be tamasic anymore. Your love for justice, an eye for eye, and all that means what? Justified. That there is a transaction and there should be a justification in every transaction. Right? Right or not? What is justice? Justice is there should be fair transaction. Give and take. Give and take. Yes or no? And life is completely, I will say, most of us, we have been given this body. What have we done to gain it? What can you give to get this body? Have you given anything to achieve this body? No. Life is unfair at the beginning itself. There is no transaction. And only one way. You receive this body from your mother. Can you give back any small thing back to the mother? No, not possible. Right? Mother has given you this whole body. When her eyesight starts becoming weak, can you give your vision to her? Not possible. When you start becoming old, can you give your youth to her? Not possible. So what is justice? What is this just view of life? You're a fair transaction. Life is unfair. It is unfair. There is a disbalance. There is an imbalance. There will always be at the receiving end, whether positive or negative. Right or not? As an individual, we are always receiving. We are not giving most of the times, is it not? So the justification in action, justification, the whole justice system for that matter, is our obsession with this fair transaction. Right? So in such a justice system, it will be Moses' justice system, an eye for eye. It cannot be Jesus' justification. But Jesus is unfair, quite unfair. You slap him on one cheek, he says, bring another cheek also. This is what Jesus is. Is it fair transaction? No. So let us not be obsessed with our ways of life. Whether it be fair transaction, unfair transaction, we are okay with both. Whether we live in Rome and Italy or whether we live in Egypt, no problem. Whether we follow any particular religion or we are atheist, no problem. Okay with both, right? But we are now interested in what? We are interested in unagitated state of mind. That's it. That is why yoga is universal. Yogis create that blissful state of their consciousness by taking what from the world? Nothing. By giving up the world, right? By coming back to themselves. That is indicative of it is there. You don't have to cultivate. You don't have to create. You don't have to beg, borrow, steal. Your joy, your internal bliss is with you. That's it. And when we become interested in that, then both are okay. Good and bad, rajas, tamas, sattva, everything is okay, and everything is, if it is there, it is okay. If it is not there, it is okay. Why? Because now we are looking for something higher than that, which is beyond all the guna. Initial stage of our development is to become human first, because we are born animals, by the way. Keep it in mind. We are born animals. We become human through education, through sanskaras, through the effort of elders in society, teachers. We become human. Parents, is it not? Right now? So let us achieve that humanness first, and then be okay with everything, because everything which is happening in this world is not permanent and only agitates our mind. And therefore, when a yogi says that I want to achieve the state of mind where mind is free of all the vrittis, all the disturbances, then he has to be okay with both. Yes or no? He can't be obsessed with goodness. He can't have love for the bad. That's simple. So he has to be okay with both. If there is some good thing happening around, it's okay. My mind is peaceful. If something bad is happening, my mind is peaceful. That is what a yogi is. Vritti nirodha. Right or not? If your samadhi comes only in favorable conditions, like if there should be 2.5 feet of a sponge below your butt, temperature between 27 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius, a velvety support on the back, a favorite perfume of fragrance in the air, and most melodious music. And now you are able to meditate and do your samadhi. Chitta vritti nirodh ho gaya. Is it samadhi? Is it chitta vritti? Luxury hai bhai, luxury. So what do we need to do here? As a yogi, we have to attain that peaceful state of mind, not in these luxurious conditions, but the way life is playing out. In the midst of all this, we have to stay peaceful and calm. That is what yoga is. Yoga is not sitting, ah bhai koi bolo mat, nobody, don't shout, don't make noise. Don't bang the doors. And now I'm meditating. Don't bang the doors in the whole house. Close all the taps. It is disturbing. What? Come on. What does it mean? It simply means, it simply means you're creating favorable conditions only. In such condition, anybody becomes a yogi. Everybody will become a yogi. Everybody will have a peaceful state of mind because he is getting what he desires at that moment. But that is also not permanent if you are not a yogi. Why? Because after some time, those who are non-yogis, in this condition also, the beautiful conditions, marvelous experience happening at helm of affairs, but a non-yogi after 30 minutes will say, bore ho raha hai. I am getting bored. How long I can sit like this in peaceful state? I want some stimulation. You see, that is Trishna for movement vrittis, moving vrittis. That is your desire and thirst for the movement of vrittis. अभी action नहीं आ रहा life में. I need some action in life. That's a vritti. That is thirst for a vritti which creates agitation. Right? That agitated state you're thirsty for. So look, neither have to be that nor this. But before we come to this state, that neither this nor that, become a better human being, well disciplined, well imbued with positive qualities, virtues, and thereafter there will come a time when you'll see the value of both is equal. Good, bad, both serve their purpose, right? And I have to be okay with both, because if I become obsessed with good, then also my mind is agitated. If I'm disturbed by bad, then also my mind is agitated. The vrittis don't stop. So therefore, when you drop both the gunas, good and bad, opposites, qualities of this world and even your mind, then you see yourself. Guna Vaitrishna means now I'm not obsessed with goodness, badness. I'm emphasizing again and again. I'm not emphasizing means even if my mind is experiencing painful state, but I'm not suffering. See, pain and suffering are different. Yes or no? Do you recognize this difference or not? Or something new? Pain is not suffering. Displeasure is not suffering. Suffering is different. Sad situations will come in your life. But whether you become sad or not is different. Right? So that is why you have to become available to yourself. And which means what? You have already risen above the good and bad. Nothing matters now. If it is good, it is okay. If it is not good, that is also okay. So such a yogi, this is paravairagya. Such a yogi is not in the dire need of aklishta vrittis in his mind to stay rooted in his own being. That's what the whole point is I was trying to make. For a beginner, the yogi, he requires the aklishta state of affairs. The vrittis have to become congenial for experiencing self. But for another type of yogi, is a yogi in the battlefield also, like Krishna. Right? He's called Yogeshwar, not yogi. He's the master of the yogis, master yoga teacher. Who? Krishna. Performing. He is in yoga while he is driving the chariot of Arjuna. And charioteer has more responsibility. Like you can doze off, but your driver has more responsibility, right or not? When you is it not? Driver has to be more responsible than the one who is seated behind. And that is how we have to orient our efforts in that direction. We have to initially work on our vrittis to make them good and congenial for our development and vritti control, but later on we have to even go beyond that. Whether good situation, bad situation, whether good vritti or bad vritti, we are rooted in ourselves. That is the ultimate purpose of yoga. So chitta vritti nirodha is not going to happen. Patanjali probably has bluffed us. Patanjali says you'll have to rise above vrittis, klishta, aklishta both. Right? Is it not? To begin with, of course, you have to. You have to come to that understanding that I need to control my thought construct. I need to train my intellect. I need to ignite my discrimination. I need to bring in discipline. I need to put practice. I need to become less attached to the fruits. I should be joyous all the time, trying to at least be calm and peaceful, if not joyous and so bubbly person, then at least be calm and peaceful, right? If can't laugh, then at least smile. If can't smile, then at least keep a face which is full of radiance, right or not? That much you must. And then onwards, you will reach such a state where both are okay to you. You'll have to drop this also. Not obsessed with it. That aklishta vrittis only will keep me rooted in my being, right? Vrittis will continue, but being at the center will be unmoved. Vrittis mean circle. In such a, the most appropriate example is that from the periphery you start moving towards center. The center is always stable. It never moves. The vrittis continue to move. Your awareness is at your core of being. So you have already moved beyond the vrittis. This is the goal of Patanjali Yoga, or ultimate goal of Vairagya. Now, next time Patanjali will tell us that with this there are two types of Vairagya, and therefore there are two types of Samadhis also. Okay, so there are two types of Samadhis associated with two types of Vairagya, and we will study them next time. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kasyid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shivo.